Hi everybody, welcome to the Country Clucker Farm. I am Noelle Mosier. I am the owner, creator of the Country Clucker blog. I'm going to jump on here today. I have gotten a lot of questions about preparing for the severe winter weather that we are supposed to be getting, like as a country, in the next 24 hours. I do have some tips that I'm going to be talking about to help you prepare you and your flock for this cold winter weather. I'm trying to get this can open. There we go. Sorry about the noise. I know that was not pleasing. Yeah, we've got a polar vortex that's going to come down and just basically put us all in a deep freeze. Here, we are expected to see some of the coldest temperatures I have ever seen, which is teens during the day and single digits at night. So, we're going to talk about things we can do to help our flocks. Okay. The first thing you're going to want to do in preparing your flocks for cold weather is stock up on feed. Chickens are able to make their own heat by consuming feed. Now, when it's really cold outside, they're going to consume extra calories, so they are going to go through the feed like crazy. I normally buy about 2 bags of feed per week. I went ahead and bought 3 this week, so that way they have a little extra calories that they can consume to generate their own heat. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wrap your pens with a windbreaker. We, in East Tennessee, are expected to have some pretty nasty, bitter winter winds here. And one of the biggest enemies to chickens, in addition to being wet, is having the wind lift up their feathers. Chickens generate their own heat by trapping the heat that they make next to their bodies using their feathers. Those down jackets that we put on when it gets cold outside, same jackets they're already wearing. So what happens is when the wind lifts up their feathers, they lose all that heat that they have worked so hard to generate. And so wrapping your pens with this, you can either use construction grade plastic. I have used chicken bags or chicken feed bags this year, mainly because I wasn't able to find the plastic earlier due to supply issues, but these feed bags work just as well. Just anything that when the wind blows and it blows into the pen, it is buffered by those bags. Another thing is feed. So if you have a larger flock like me, I'm going to open up this door here and try not to let everybody out. Hi, everybody. You're going to want to keep your chickens in your pen during these really, really cold weather events, because I'm going to give them more feed, obviously, because chickens can freeze to death if they are in a situation where their feathers are constantly being ruffled up due to the wind. They can freeze to death. So wrap up your pens, make sure that your feeder is stocked full of feed. Come out several days if you have to, if you don't have multiple feeders, to top off their feed like I just did. Keep them in their pens, keep them out of the bitter winds, out of the bitter weather, and also provide fresh drinkable water. Now, when it gets really cold outside, the water will freeze. Oftentimes we think that feed is more important for chickens when it's cold. Not necessarily. The water helps them to regulate their body temperature. So it needs to be liquid and it needs to be drinkable. If you have to, you can go to Tractor Supply and buy a heated water. It plugs into an electric source. If you don't have electricity for your pens, you can also just do the simple Hollett method. bring it out several times a day and make sure that you've got plenty of drinkable water. They will be ever so grateful. Another thing that you can do is put a flock block in their pen for them to peck at. When they're locked up, they can kind of get a little bored and start pecking on each other. You can make a flock block. I'll link a post from my blog that I have a recipe for a flock block that you can make. That's real simple to make. It's real cheap to make, and it uses all household items. Or you can go out to Tractor Supply and you can purchase one. I generally just make my own because I can cater the ingredients to my chicken's particular tastes and needs. And so I'm going to link my blog post that has that on there. I've got a recipe on there that I've created and used throughout the decade or decades. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, a note on heat lamps. It's tempting when it gets cold outside to judge the comfort of our chickens level by our own. This is the biggest mistake that chicken keepers can make. Like I said before, the same coats that we put on when it gets cold are the same down coats that they are already wearing. Chickens do not need a supplemental heat source. If they have a clean, dry, wind-free place to call home, they're able to do the rest. So I can't tell you how many times I have seen or people have contacted me in absolute distress because they put a heat lamp in their coop and it caught fire and it burned the coop down. They lost their flock. The most devastating cases are when a heat lamp will burn down a barn, or in some cases even a home. So do not use heat lamps. Do not gauge your chicken's comfort or your flock's comfort based on your own. That is the worst and most fundamental mistake keepers can make. The chickens are adapted to live outside. They evolved to live outdoors. What they need from us is a clean, dry, wind-free place to call home. So if you can keep out the winds from ruffling up their feathers and and losing all the heat that they've worked so hard to generate. Keep the elements out by having your coop wrapped like this. It's going to keep your elements out. That snow and ice is going to stay on the outside. The winds are going to stay on the outside. And in their coop, yes, the temperature will be low, but the temperature doesn't necessarily bother them. It's the wind, and it's going to be the elements. So if you can keep the wind out, keep the elements out, you will have very happy chickens. Isn't that right, Deaky? Yeah. So, I hope these tips have helped. I will be monitoring my Facebook page, my comments a little more closely here for the next 24 hours as people have been kind of chiming in and saying, hey, what do I do? I need some tips. Can I do this? Can I do that? Do I need to buy this? Do I need to buy that? So I will also be monitoring my blog and also my comments on my my YouTube channel. I don't know where my mind went there for a minute. My YouTube channel, just to kind of help you guys if you have any questions, so you're not spending money that you don't need to, or you're not causing a situation that might not necessarily be helpful for your chickens. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to give these little tips before everybody started panicking and preparing and purchasing things that might not be necessary and doing things that won't necessarily be helpful. Yeah, so good luck to everybody. We're going to have the coldest temperatures that we've ever seen. I live in East Tennessee. We're going to have lows at the night around 0. I have never seen it that cold here before. And our highs are going to be in the teens. I have never seen that. So I've been here for 20 years and I've never seen the temperatures that we're going to be seeing. So anyway, if we're going to get cold, I know other people are going to be dealing with the same, if not worse. So anyway, us chicken keepers are just going to have to unite and kind of help each other out. And hopefully by the end of this, everybody will be okay. Alrighty, well, thanks for tuning in. Bye.